We love playing mobile games. We can play them almost anytime and anywhere. Currently, there are more than 400,000 games in the Google Play Store alone. These days, we get to play high-end mobile games such as PUBG Mobile and games with augmented reality features such as Pokemon Go on our phones. However, the case wasn't always like that. Welcome to this episode of KnowFinity. And in this video, we are going to see the humble beginnings of mobile gaming, diving deep into its history. Then we are going to have a look at the current market and the situation of mobile gaming. Lastly, we will also talk about the possible future of mobile gaming industry. The year was 1994 and the companies like Motorola and Nokia were the leaders of the mobile phone market. But it was another mobile phone brand that did something revolutionary that year. In its development center in Stavanger, Denmark, Hagenuk had built the world's first ever mobile phone with a video game installed in it. The Hagenuk MT2000 featured a very famous video game called Tetris. Even back then, Tetris wasn't a new name. It was a video game developed by the Russian software engineer Alexei Pajitnov 10 years earlier in 1984. It was originally released for the Electronica 60 computer, so it was still pretty famous back then. Fast forward 3 years, in 1997, Nokia designed its own version of the game Snake for few of its selected mobile phone models. Snake, like Tetris, wasn't a new name in the gaming industry either. It first appeared in Nokia 6110 model. It has been embedded on more than 350 million mobile devices worldwide to date. It is also considered as one of the most played video games ever. Snake was programmed by a design engineer Taneli Armanto. In 1999, a Japanese mobile phone operator company by the name of NTT Docomo released a platform called as iMode. The release of NTT Docomo's iMode commercialized the downloading of mobile games. Now people could download games into their mobile phones by themselves. Then, by the early 2000s, game could be downloaded through a variety of platforms. However, mobile games distributed by the mobile phone operators and different third-party portals remained just a marginal form of gaming until Apple launched its iOS App Store in the year 2008. This was followed by the release of Android Marketplace by Google for Android phones later that same year. We now know it popularly as Google Play Store or just Google Play. The release of these two marketplaces by Apple and Google revolutionized the mobile game industry. They significantly changed the consumer behavior and quickly broadened the market for mobile games. Now, the users of both Apple and Android phones could download apps and games that they needed with just a few clicks and an internet connection. The quality of games increased gradually after that. In December of 2009, Rovio Entertainment released Angry Birds for iOS. In this game, the player controlled a flock of multicolored angry birds, which were attempting to retrieve their eggs that had been stolen by a group of hungry green-colored pigs. After its release, the original Angry Birds game was called one of the most mainstream games out in 2010, one of the great runaway hits of 2010, and also the largest mobile app success the world had ever seen as of 2011. Angry Birds showed the real potential of the mobile games and pushed the industry forward, setting the bar very high for the future games. Another game that most of us might remember playing in the early 2010s was Temple Run. Just like Angry Birds, it was first released for iOS devices and then for other platforms like Android and Windows Phone later. It was initially released on 4th of August 2011. Temple Run was also a commercial success with many positive reviews from the critics. The success of this game led to a sequel, Temple Run 2, in the later years. The success of Temple Run also inspired numerous games which copied its gameplay and branding. In the original gameplay, the player controls a chosen character who will embark on an adventure to seek an ancient and valuable golden idol from an Aztec temple. Since its release in the year 2011, the popularity of this game has soared to the point that Imagi Studios became more popular than Zynga. In iTunes Store, the game was included in the top 50 most downloaded apps in December of the same year. Later, it even became the #1 free iOS app in the App Store. When it was released on Android, it was downloaded 1 million times within 3 days of its release. As of June 2014, the Temple Run and its sequel have been downloaded over 1 billion times. The popularity and the success of blockbuster games such as Angry Birds and Temple Run encouraged many game developers to start developing video games for smartphones, both iOS and Android. Now let us have a look at the current status of the mobile game industry. So, what does the industry look like today? From around 2010, the touchscreen smartphone revolution had a major impact on the sales of basic features phone, as the sales of smartphones increased from 139 million units in 2008 to 1.54 billion in the year 2019. Android maintained its position as the leading mobile phone operating system worldwide in January 2021. Android and iOS jointly possess over 99% of the global market share, out of which 71.93% share is controlled by Android alone. Around 3.8 billion people in the world are using smartphones in 2021, which translates to 48.33% of the world's population. As of the third quarter of 2020, there are more than 420,000 mobile gaming apps in the Google Play Store alone. Similarly, in App Store, there are more than 950,000 gaming apps. As of 2020, the most popular Apple App Store category was gaming, with over 22% of the apps being games. The video game industry is no doubt a multi-billion-dollar business, and the numbers just keep increasing. The total annual revenue in 2020 of video games all over the world was $150 billion. The biggest contributor of this revenue was unsurprisingly mobile gaming. A solid $85 billion of revenue was generated by mobile gaming alone, which is double compared to that of PC gaming and also more than that of PC and console gaming combined in the previous year. Out of all the games created for mobile phones, here is the list of some highest grossing mobile games created to date. Arena of Valor stands at the top of the table with a revenue of $9,974,000,000 since its release in 2015. The game was published by Tencent Games. The second position is held by Mobile Strike with a revenue of $9,210,000,000 since its release in 2013. Mixi was the publisher of this game. Puzzle & Dragons secured the third position with the total revenue of $7,833,340,000 since its initial release in February of 2012. The very famous strategy game of the past decade, Clash of Clans, stands at the fourth position with a revenue of $7 billion since its release in 2012. Likewise, Pokemon Go, Candy Crush Saga and PUBG Mobile stands at 5th, 6th and 7th positions respectively, with the revenues as shown on your screen. Similarly, here are some of the mobile games with the most number of player count. According to eMarketer.com, mobile phones are expected to top TV in terms of daily screen time this year in 2021. Many of us may spend that time playing games. Those of us who use gaming apps spend an average of 6.5 hours a week on them, and 78% of us use them daily. Most people say that they play games to pass time, and that is where mobile phones have a clear advantage over television, because unlike TV, we can take our mobile phones almost anywhere. According to Newzoo.com, the mobile gaming industry is expected to top $100 billion by the end of the year 2021, achieving a decade of double-digit growth. So, from all these data, we can assume that in the future, the mobile gaming industry might diminish the size of the PC and the console gaming. And one of the things that play a vital role in doing so is the portability of mobile phones. We can carry them anywhere and anytime, and they also fit in our pockets. For example, if you are waiting for your flight at an airport and the flight gets delayed by a few hours, you can take out your mobile phone and start playing your favorite game to pass the time. To play the games on your mobile phones, you won't have to set up multiple devices, which, to be honest, takes a fair amount of space to set up. So, in the ever-diminishing size of the computer industry, mobile phones have been able to win over our hearts. And since many of us prefer playing short and sweet games on our phones, I couldn't help but imagine that mobile gaming might just be the future of the gaming industry. With that, I conclude this video essay of mine about the story of mobile gaming. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. And a thumbs down might just do the trick if you didn't like the video. And if your curious mind likes to wander off thinking about the science related to technology, please do subscribe to KnowFinity. Thank you, and I wish you have a great day and a week ahead. And I'll see you next time. Till then, take care and bye-bye.